Possible thanks to the generous support of our Kickstarter backers. And by Fangamer, www.fangamer.com.
Holmes was born, then he got fat, bald, and tired.
Sup, Holmes?
Beware, your host, Jonathan Holmes.
Whoa, we're in, Loren. We're in.
Thank you, Sinistar, you handsome devil.
You're familiar with Sinistar. You've seen this
Of
show
course.
before.
Yeah.
How wonderful. Loren, we've
Hello.
talked online for 2 years?
A while.
What do
Yeah,
you think?
yeah, 2 years.
And as I was saying before the show started, I did not have any idea as to what or who I would be seeing today. I know your temperament. I know your games, Rockets, 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 for one. I know your style, but I had no idea your sex or gender.
Well, I'm
Loren,
a man.
you are a man.
Yeah.
Now
Mysterious man, apparently.
But isn't it cool? Yes, as I dubbed you on Destructoid, you're the most mysterious person in video game history.
Yikes.
But isn't it cool that you carry yourself in such a way online, very friendly, but not in a way that has any sort of gendered charge? And your avatar on Twitter is just like cool, colorful things.
Yeah, well, I think it keeps things light, keeps things more approachable. I don't know.
Sure.
I try to,
Are you mistaken for a woman online ever?
yeah, sometimes. Just the name, I think, throws people off.
Loren, it's sometimes is it Slavic?
I think it is. Or Irish.
Ah, one of those two.
A bit of both, right? Somewhere in the middle.
Like the Klopex from the
somewhere
Verge.
mysterious. Somewhere mysterious.
Yes, it fits you perfectly. You like video games, it seems.
I do like video games.
What's the deal with that?
I don't know. I heard they're cool. The cool kids like them, so I try. I try hard.
You're just doing it for your image?
Yeah, I'm all about my brand and my image.
The Loren Bednar brand, is that how I pronounce your last name? Bednar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Bednar.
You sort of do have a brand. We're joking, of course, but you.
No, I know. I think everybody kind of does.
I suppose so.
It's good to represent yourself in some way, and I guess people consider that their brand.
Sure.
But,
how would you describe the Loren Bednar brand?
Bright.
Colorful.
Bright, colorful, shiny. Yeah, all that stuff. It's fun. I try to keep it light.
Have you always been into putting colors next to each other and seeing what happens?
I guess so. Yeah, since at least I started getting into art and programming. Before that, I was into music. I played clarinet in symphonies and stuff like that. So I guess it's kind of putting color to the world in its own musical way.
Huh.
Yeah. And then once getting into programming and design, I tried to work color into my programming, and it sounds weird saying it out loud, but when it's in the moment, it sounds nicer.
Sure. No. It sounds very nice said out loud. It's the kind of thing a lot of people don't necessarily pay attention to, the similarities between the languages of music, game design, and visuals. And also, it's not something not everyone would prioritize. You were playing symphony? Clarinet?
Yeah, for a little bit, for local symphonies. When I was in college, I did two different groups.
Cool.
Yeah,
What kind of music
fun.
did you like to play?
Oh, lots of stuff. I liked the huge operas and smaller ensemble work. I did 2 or 3 wind symphony things, which are smaller groups, much less percussion, no violins. Played in musical pits for a couple years.
Huh.
Yeah, lots of that stuff.
Clarinet.
I think I was 10. This
Oh,
is kind of the thing to do. It's like it seemed like everybody joined the band in 5th grade, and it was a rush to the drums, and everybody wants to play drums. Everybody wants to play the trombone, stuff that they can make huge sounds with. But I originally wanted to play flute because that was the only thing I could get a sound out of. So.
But you stuck with clarinet for some time.
I did. Yeah, for a while. I played for almost 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you stopped playing completely now?
Yeah, kind of. It's just difficult to maintain everything at once. So performing, I mean, I have a family now, so
Sure.
it's tough to find the time to actually go out and perform with a group. Yeah, so
I think that's what the lead singer of Rat said as well. So
Really?
I've got a family now, no more groupies, no more. But with you, it was somehow, were there clarinet groupies?
no, thankfully, I don't think that would be a really hip crowd, but you know,
Well, you never know. I'm sure some, in their own
I'm
way,
sure.
maybe in a little bit less, I don't know, animal way, saw you in that
know.
symphony and thought,
I go round and round, right?
that's I can't believe you just did that. Very, very
Sorry.
nicely done.
Sorry.
No, I enjoyed it.
Once
So
you
clarinet,
inspired by Rat, you know.
I'm inspired by Rat every day. So fifth
Good.
grade into college, clarinet. Where did
Yep.
video games start? Were you also into video games?
Well, yeah, I was trying to think back before the show. I was like, I got to come up with interesting things, right? So when I was, I don't know, 6 or 7, I was going to my mom's work. She worked in an office, and they had a copy machine, which is pretty cool. And I would use that to copy grids from a strategy guide for Nintendo. I can't remember what it was. It was like a red cover and like a white spiral bound. Had like 16 games in it. One of them was Lemmings.
Oh,
So I
sure.
would copy off the Lemmings levels and then like trace them and kind of make my own Lemmings levels and playing through all that. So I always wanted to make those kinds of games. It was a lot of fun, and then that kind of diminished. I always played games all through school, and then I bought Borland C++ because I wanted to make a hack so I could play the Grand Theft Auto demo longer. Yeah.
You could have just bought the game.
You know, it's more fun to buy a programming language and try to learn it and try to override the computer timer. Anyway, that didn't work, and my first foray into programming was kind of a failure. But a few years later, I started making websites and stuff for friends, and college came and went, and I needed a job. So after working, you know, grindy type jobs, production warehouses and Toys R Us, stuff like that,
Sure.
I lucked out and got a job with my best friend working in an attic and as a programmer, laying out websites, stuff like that. And I learned Flash at that job. And from that point on, I was just trying to make games and working in the edge of the industry, I suppose, making adver games.
Oh, what kind of advert games?
It's a dark time in my past.
Without darkness, there can be no light. So
That's
all about
true.
the contrast.
That's true. I came out of the darkness and started making my own things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can talk about them. But it was like,
Can you give us a general idea of what they were like?
they were.
What products were you advertising, perhaps?
Well, I worked on a couple Transformers games to sell the product. Smaller things, not like the AAA titles.
Sure.
I worked on the Littlest Pet Shop VIP thing. So any of the Littlest Pet Shop toys, like the physical toys that you could purchase in the store, had a code, kind of like Webkins. So you could apply this code online and play with your friend online and take them to the doghouse and do various things like that. But it was pretty fun. And then much smaller things for branded products. Lots of like, click 10 branded items and see if you're a winner. Maybe you are. Maybe you won a free caramel-colored soda product, right?
And were
So,
you
stuff
getting
like
to
that.
design these games? Were you given
little
much
bit.
creative freedom with them?
I had creative input on some of the design elements, but we worked with different designers to actually produce the things. I mean, a lot of the brands have very strict style guides, so you know they of course have final sign-off. They want their product represented in as pure a way as possible in a game that's supposed to be fun
Right.
with a brand. So, yeah.
This is how Way Forward got started as well, if I remember correctly. Some of their earliest games were just follow our brand, do what we want you to do, but at the same time have a little bit of creative freedom. With Transformers in particular, were there anything with that brand you wished you could have done that you didn't get to do?
Not really. I mean, it was fun. It was just we did a couple 2D side scrollers just for Hasbro to advertise the game itself. So the games were pretty fun. Standard mid to late 2000s Flash game style. So yeah, it was fun, run and gun kind of thing. Lots of explosions and flashy particles and stuff. And around then is where I really started to get into just really bright, flashy, flary stuff. Because once you're working with Transformers, it's particle heaven.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, sparks and explosions and lens flares, all that.
So Michael Bay has been something of an influence to you.
Oh man, the terror.
Yeah, my dog. I'm squirting her with water right now. She's mad at the cat, and there's a fly buzzing around. This is going to be like the worst episode of the show ever.
No. Well, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you here. But the fly antagonizes the cat, which then antagonizes the dog, who is locked in a cage. But the cage doesn't make her quiet. It just makes her not actually knock stuff over. So this is where I film my show, in my dog cat.
It's wonderful.
House. Yeah,
like the Fantastic Machine, right?
Yeah, or that old nursery rhyme. So
I don't know why I swallowed the fly, right? Okay.
You're a knowledgeable man. Dialing it back. Game growing up, was it flashy, colorful, intense games that you played the most of?
Not really. I played a lot of RPGs. Lots of that kind of stuff. Lots of Final Fantasy. A little bit later, Star Ocean, all that. Yeah, I don't know. It's a strange thing. It's like I was trying to think back to when I kind of started getting into it, and a lot of the colorful stuff happened while I was working at one of these advertising jobs. We were making an ad, I guess you could call it that, for Dell. Can I say brands?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So
nobody watches this show. It's fine.
Yeah, no, we're good. So okay. So we were working for Dell, and one of the things that we were doing, it was like a back-to-school special, and we had an opportunity to work with an artist that was creating generative art and laying out those custom covers for the Dell laptops. So part of the Dell promotion was you could have a custom cover, I guess, for your Dell laptop. And he was creating lots of generative pieces for us to share with the promotion. So our group would, actually disperse the rewards. It wasn't just, we weren't just the agency, we were part of the, what do they call it, fulfillment of the product. So we got to see all these really cool, I thought, generative pieces, like in physical form. Up to that point, this was like 2006, I didn't really know anything about generative art. It was still pretty new, I think, in that kind of form. So I started playing with it in Flash and just exploring forms and really colorful stuff. It was really kind of freeing as a programmer to see just vibrance emerge. I don't know. It was really kind of a cool experience, because up to then it was just black and white, coding. It was just, oh, this is kind of boring. But then to see that code turn into these very large code-based colorful structures and seeing how they interact and stuff, it was really kind of a cool experience.
So for people who don't know, could you describe what generative art is?
I will happily spend the rest of your show talking about that. So the premise of generative art is creating an artistic piece with a set of given algorithms. So it could be as simple as draw a square, right? Draw a blue square. And then you might have an algorithm that draws nested blue squares, tons and tons and tons, like fractals, fractal art, where you've got the big waves and all that. So you can take all these different algorithms and stack them together, and then you can create very large-scale pieces that kind of take on a mind of their own, so to speak. I mean, your code is there, and it might exist in a very small space, but after generating the art, a lot of times you might end up with pieces that can fill a wall that are really kind of unique. It's kind of a tough thing to describe.
It sounds like math applied to artificial intelligence almost, but the intelligence level of kind of a primitive microorganism maybe, but seeing how it goes about its life and seeing what it comes up with, you feel like you kind of created artificial life a little bit.
Yeah, in a way. You could, and especially once you start applying some artificial intelligence to it, even a marching pattern to make it go completely random. I mean, you might end up with totally different pieces that you couldn't predict, and that's it's just a kind of cool thing. I don't know, it's such a hard thing to describe because when I got started in it, it was pretty new. There was a wonderful book. It was called Art in Math or something. It was written by, I feel so bad that I can't remember the author, but it was a lot of examples of how people used Flash to create wonderful art pieces and moving art pieces, like not just static art, but you could interact with it and stuff. I don't know. It was really cool. I don't know. It's such a visual thing to describe it with words.
I think you're describing it better than you think you're describing it, Loren.
They should have sent a poet.
No, is that a Monty Python reference? Poets are both sweet and warm.
Oh, yeah.
Above the norm. I think about things like that too much.
That's a better one.
It's a shame that, to me anyway, this form of art, in terms of how it's usually absorbed by the fine art world, they see it as, oh, well, you know, it didn't take the kind of technique that is classical. Oh, it's kind of like a screensaver. Blah, blah, blah.
Right. And I think that is a fair statement. When I create my work, I don't really consider it. I don't consider it a museum piece. I'm not like, ooh, the art world, look out, I'm coming for you, right? It's much more mild. I mean, I think it could be as intense as you want. I like to keep it mild, but it's such a weird thing. Like thinking about the stuff, and it's such a vibrant stuff. At least my newer work is so flashy and bright. It's like I don't want to compete with that by being bright and flashy. It's like I can't do what my work does. So let's just try to keep it mild.
Huh. So you feel like you are mild, but your artwork is not?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's right.
Huh. But you couldn't make or care about stuff that's so flashy if you didn't have that kind of flash of excitement in yourself, I'd imagine.
I guess. I mean, I'm very excited about things. I love life. I think it's a miracle. I like being a part of it. But I guess so when I'm creating things, I start with a black background, just colorless, and I like to add small parts, like small squares, small circles, small shapes, and just kind of grow it from there and see how intense I can make it. And when it gets to the point where I feel like I can't look at this anymore, it's too much, I dial it back a little bit, and that's kind of the final work. Because I don't think I could share the ones that are to that level and feel comfortable that people wouldn't think I'm a crazy person. Like, someone would look at it and be like, this just looks like a giant yellow circle. What's wrong with you, right?
Well, I said that to Jackson Pollock, and then he sold a painting or two.
It's hard to stick cigarettes on your monitor, right? It's just be like, here's the final piece.
It's harder, but it's not impossible. And I imagine...
I would love to be a part of that art movement where you've got 80-inch TVs, and you've got this procedural work that's ever growing, and you've got people just like sticking knives in it, right? Sticking, like hot gluing.
The grant is waiting for you. The artist grant for, I don't know, $20,000.
Sure. Well, for anybody that's listening that can process a grant for that, I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
You never know. You never know with the show.
No, that's
thankfully.
true.
Yeah. I see the process of you making it being incredibly interesting, just as
Really?
interesting. Yeah,
so boring.
watching it as it evolves and knowing, like I can picture myself watching your process grow. But I'm also the kind of guy who just looks at electroplankton and is like, I could watch this for days, you know. So
Yeah, but
maybe it's just
that's real
me.
life. I can't compete with that.
Not real plankton, electroplankton.
So, no, I know, I can't compete with that. But even like the biobay, are you familiar with biobays?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a trip. So there's these bioluminescent bays. I think there's one in the Caribbean, maybe. And there's these really tiny little organisms that are bioluminescent, and they kick up their color when you brush your hand through the water when you're swimming. So it's like, it looks like a video game. Like it looks like a trip. Like I can't. Thinking of that, it's just like I can't believe this is real life. It's just you see the pictures of it, and it just looks surreal. Like this is a real thing. I recommend looking at photos of that after the show. Devote the rest of your day to looking at photos of bioluminescent bays.
Bioluminescent bays.
Yeah, they call them bio bays. It's the weirdest thing. It's just you run your hand through the water, and it's just the water glows. It's like blues and stuff.
Wow. Huh.
It's real. It's a real thing. When I first heard about it, I can't believe it. This can't be real. But it is.
Oftentimes, with the ocean, sea life in general, that's where your mind, at least where my mind gets blown the most. Like, I can't believe that fish has a light hanging off its head. It just lives like that. It's just normal. No. That fish.
It's just
football fish. Yeah.
What does it think about that as it's swimming around? Does it think about the fact that it has a Christmas light? Just.
I don't know. We'll never know. Will we ever know what anyone else is even thinking anyway? Probably not.
I hope not. That's what we have Twitter for, right?
Sadly, we've seen a lot of what people are, at least part of what they're thinking. One of my problems with everything when it comes to is that you only ever get some of it. Like Twitter definitely shows you a valid side of some people, but it's not all of who they are. But we forget that. We forget that our internet communications, our visual communications, our musical communications, that's not the whole person. But we feel a whole person's level of intensity about Phil Fish saying, you know, screw you, that we end up feeling like we know him when we really don't.
Yeah, it's really hard to take that slice and run with it. You know, there is so much to a person. So it's hard. I mean, it's difficult to see an uprising and then experience the fallout from a distance. It's like there's so much going on, but you're only getting a tiny fraction, and to see people attack people that they only see this slice of. I mean, I don't want to get into Twitter politics, but it's hard to see it from one side and know that there's a whole other story out there, and to see people's lives get trashed. It's just awful. I don't know.
Yeah, it really is. It's been a week or more of that, and it doesn't seem to really be going away, though hopefully I do feel like some of the feedback given to the people whom are actively trying to destroy other people, they seem to be morphing a little bit and knowing that they look pretty terrible, and they don't like looking that way. Not all of them, anyway. So they're trying to evolve it.
People wouldn't want to look like a monster.
Well, but yeah, some people, I don't know if you've ever Googled Joker impersonation on YouTube or Google.com. Some people, they just want to be the Joker. They impersonate the Joker from The Dark Knight and have posters of him on the wall and think chaos and sadism and lawless destruction of other things. It's just as good as it gets. It's like ice cream.
Awesome, right? Let's do this. Let's burn the world down. Why not?
That is the last thing I thought I would hear you say today.
Fire is bright.
That's true. Virtual fire is just fine. You have a virtual fire in you, but actually breaking something. You're one of the most positive people that I've interacted with online. You make fan art for Luftrausers, and it's beautiful art too.
Good group.
What people? Can you name off some of the fan art you've made? Actually, now I'm trying to think back on it.
I did stuff for Fez, Luftrausers, Ridiculous Fishing, Nuclear Throne, and some stuff for Night in the Woods.
For what?
Night in the Woods.
Oh, that's right.
Scott Benson and Alex Holika.
Oh, sure.
Alec.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Alec, if you're watching.
Alex.
Not Alex. Alec.
Alec.
I'm sorry.
The things
Yes,
that Alec does with Gem and the holograms on Twitter.
Oh yeah, Scott.
Oh, Scott
Gem,
does.
Scott
Sorry,
and Gem.
mixed up Scott and Alec. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, you can never get a Gem, right? Gem is the equalizer.
I never get sick of it. When you were making that fan art, and did Phil Fish and Flambeer, did they respond to it? Did they tell you?
Yeah, they thought it was cool. I mean, it's always nice to hear that there's positive feedback. You would never want to hear that they threw their computer out the window. They saw it and it ruined their lives so much that, you know.
Were you hoping that you would end up working with them based on kind of making an impression with
Not
that?
really. I think that they have their own style. They have their own ideas, and I don't know. I didn't do it with any expectations, just as a fan.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what was the motivation then? Tell me about fan art motivation.
Fan art motivation, sure. So I love helping people. I like being encouraging and trying to just be part of the scene. I guess that's part of it. So I did that fan art when I was not really known by anybody. I had friends, like Twitter friends, with a few people, but I think fan art is a wonderful gateway to sharing your work with context. So given that, it was a way for me to kind of get to know them a little bit, share something that I'm interested in, which, you know, their game, and kind of share a little bit of my ideas of my own work. It's kind of like an open conversation. So there's no rules to it. There's no real expectations. I guess a subtle rule would be like, don't make their game look terrible. And don't be like, this is what I think of your game, and you just show them a picture of garbage. Like, you know, I guess unless that's like an ironic piece and you're trying to be a photo person. Anyway, so I think it's fair. I think fan art is a fair way for somebody to start a conversation with somebody that they admire. It's easy in the sense that you can talk to somebody about their game in a way that maybe connects with you, but at the same time you don't have to worry about being judged, because I think a lot of game creators just love seeing people engage with their game in a different way, creative ways. Like Colin Northway for his latest game. He's willing to give you a copy if you give him some fan art that you feel justifies it. So he asked, I think, for a half hour of your time to create a piece that's representative of the game in your eyes, and he will give you a key for it. It's the coolest thing.
Why am I was meaning to write about that all day, but it's been a hectic day. What the heck is the name of their game again? It's got jellyfish in it. We just talked to them about it.
Deep Under the Sky, I think?
That sounds right. It's a beautiful looking game. It reminds me of your visual style, actually, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I will be writing about that after the show.
Cool.
Colin
Yeah, it looks
Northway,
amazing.
Incredipede, Sarah Northway, been on the show a little while.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, they seem like amazing people.
Yeah, I agree. I was lucky to have them on. So you have this attitude towards, I want to engage in a dialogue with the people whom I know of their stuff. You don't know them personally, for all you know. Flambeer and Phil Fish are people that you would abhor in real life, but yet they've made this
opinion. I mean, I don't get that feeling, I should say.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You start from a place of, I'm expecting these people, I would at least kind of like them. And they've made this thing that I think is fantastic. So I want to be a part of their narrative, but I'm not going to do it by saying you're a total idiot and I'm better than you. You're going to say,
that's not a good place to start a conversation. I think you're terrible, and I'm going to tell you why.
You've been on the internet, though. You know how common of a icebreaker that is these days.
Tough love, right?
Is
that's
it?
what they're going for. They're just like,
well, there is kind of a weird, you've probably seen it on the internet, you may know about it from psychology classes. People oftentimes want to hurt someone that they care about or are interested in, so then they can make up with them and like them. And it's the old wrestling heel face turn. Some have accused me of doing it because I will annoy someone and then say, I'm sorry. And then they'll be like, you're doing that just to manipulate me. I'm like, no, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to annoy you.
No, but why are you writing me an IOU for $10,000?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry. Can you give me money?
Indeed. But you've decided to just take the simple, straightforward, but still risky approach of...
I don't know if it's risky. I think that if you show genuine earnest to a creator, whether it's a game, music, whatever, it's just a great way to start a conversation. It's so free. Like, I guess the only thing that a creator could do is say that they didn't like it. But I can't imagine anybody that was genuinely pleased with their work would think ill of a person that gave them fan art that was genuine. I mean, I think that you would have to be coming from a very dark place as a creator to think that people were being happy and pleasant with you ironically. Like, I can't imagine that. That's the only place that I could think that somebody was like, all these people are giving me flowers because they hate me. Like,
I've seen it happen, but you're right. It's pretty rare.
Right. It would have to be rare.
I guess the risk comes in working very hard on something and then thinking, well, I could have worked on something that would have had more of an impact or would have been better for me, or that kind of self-interested greed perspective that you just don't seem to... I'm not really getting that self-interest greed perspective from you much, Loren.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's fun to make fan art. I think it's fun to create something that riffs on someone else's idea. I mean, it's just, you see that in music all the time. Especially modern soundtracks for games, you know, independent ones especially, like Fez had 2 complete remix soundtracks by all the awesome indie composers. It was just outstanding. Like side F and side Z? I don't know if there was a side E.
Oh, I'm not sure either.
Oh, it's so cool. It's awesome music. So to see, that's like living fan art in my opinion. It's like, you don't really see people bundle fan art in like a package because people don't consume art in the same way they do music. So to have, I mean, like Flambert has their Nuclear Throne Tumblr and they have a lot of fan art. Same with Night in the Woods. So it's really cool to see what people think of that and just learn the community that's engaging like that. I don't know. It's a really cool thing.
I agree. Yeah.
I think it'd be nice to see people feel welcome to do that. But I do think that there's hesitation, especially like people that expect a response. I think that's a tough place to be. If you make something that you feel is wonderful, with the expectation that someone else will laud you for it, like, this is amazing, and give you hugs and stuff on Twitter and share it with the world. If you go in with that expectation, I think that you're a lot more likely to get hurt. If you go into it from the perspective of, I really love your effort, I love what you've created, and I want to make something that I think is cool, right? So I think that that is your drive, that is your goal. Keep it simple, and you won't be hurt. And if anything happens after that, if somebody shares it with a friend and they like it, and then you get talked about and all that, I think that's an amazing exchange. Yeah, I love fan art.
It has to come from a place of optimism and unselfishness, which is, I don't know how common that is. Maybe it's common in a quiet way. That maybe the opposite of that, the greed and the pessimism side, is just louder in my ears. But it seems rarer.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, but is there? I wonder if there's a way to do some.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things. Like, so lately, there's been a lot of outreach in the developer community, the independent game developer community, to include people that are maybe not as well known. And it's so hard to talk about Twitter in real life. It just sounds like a joke. Like, it sounds ironic, like hashtag cool. But there was a hashtag for We Love Game Devs. And it was just the coolest thing to see people reach out to people that may not be as well known, or share the people that they are inspired by. And along that same line, there was a lot of people talking up the quiet worker, right? The person that's being enthusiastic and just encouraging other developers, but not maybe yelling about it, not sitting on the roof screaming about how great the developer community is. It's nice to see movements like that, especially when it's such a hard time in the world with just all the badness.
Yeah, there's so much badness, real life badness, virtual badness.
Hard, you know, it's just in your face.
Yeah. But some people, a lot of people, when they have time, they think, well, what am I going to use my time for? And also, when something's hard to do, they think, well, this is kind of hard, I'm going to give up. Unless they have a self-interest drive to push them through, they quit. But the fan art you've done didn't look like it was easy to do, and yet you pushed through it, even though... Was it easy?
Yeah, but that's my... That's
really?
like right... It is, but only because that's like right in my easy zone. Like that's...
Well, let's talk time, because effort is so hard to quantify.
Talk time?
Yeah,
well,
how much time did the Fez one take to do?
The Fez one?
Hmm.
I don't know if I want to say.
Was it like a minute?
Well, that's the trick with generative artwork. It's like, it took me 7 years to get comfortable creating a piece like I did for Fez and Louvre Trousers and stuff. So the actual implementation of that probably took a half hour or so. But I'm comfortable with my workflow. I think traditional artists, people that use Photoshop to actually create art, not just modify stock images and add a lot of glows, right? People that actually use it and Illustrator to create new works of art, I think I just can't get over how talented those people are. It's amazing. It's like the coolest thing. I tried a little bit of that with Nuclear Throne, creating kind of a traditional work, and that took hours just to get the coloring right, to get all that stuff, because I rely on my instincts for creating generative. Like, I understand wave patterns and understand how certain pieces and colors and shapes and stuff will interact, but when you're actually putting pen down to create something, it's a strong challenge. Like, I don't know. It's fun.
It becomes about dexterity, it becomes about hand-eye coordination, it becomes about muscle memory. It's something it's a completely different beast. Though I should, and I meant to mention it earlier, just in case anyone's in the Seattle area, the Fangamer Heart Attract Mode fan art and music and video game show next Saturday. Jeez,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's part of this movement that seems to be so from the heart that people can't not like it. they're so earnest, and there's so little any sort of prestige in it. But that's exactly why I hope it gains them some prestige, because it is so genuine. Really great artists like Ashley Davis and Mariel Cartwright and Zach.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. All doing fan art, just video game fan art about love.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It might not be. I wonder if it's too late for you to enter it. Maybe not.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to submit something that was... I don't know. That's hard. That's stressful. That's like, ooh, these people are creating such wonderful pieces. Can I compete? Can I do this?
No, the competition mentality. But that competition mentality, of course, causes a self-critique that limits passionate, creative, outpouring. If you were going to make fan art about love, off the top of your head, no self-criticism in this process, just first thing, off the top of your head, fan art about love. What do you think? What game would you bake it on? Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know. Probably Katamari Damacy.
Yeah, right? It's one of the few games ever to have a heart or the word love in there.
That's true. Yeah. We heart
Katamari.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice
Maybe you'll do that.
Great job.
Yeah, it's not, maybe not for this year, but you never know. Maybe for this year, they're still putting together stuff. Or even if you just did fan art for them and said, a thing, I'm sure they would show it off.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I was really lucky that, so Devolver at, what was it, GDC, they had like a basement thing, where they shared fan art, and they chose one of my works to hang in their little gallery. It was pretty cool.
Oh, which one?
It was... Which one was mine?
Yeah.
It was for Loot Browsers, and which one was it? It was like a lot. Did you see the gallery?
No, but I saw the Luftbrowser's piece a while back.
Yeah, so it was a really busy one. I guess all of them were, so it's hard to say. But yeah, I had something in there. It was really nice of them to include it. They're awesome. Devolver is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And only getting more popular by the day, thank goodness, because you never know which way it's going to go.
Yeah.
But
they deserve
doing
it.
well.
They're doing
Absolutely.
stuff.
Some of their, I believe, someone from Devolver was once with Gamecock, which I don't know if you're familiar with them. They did
bit.
Mushroom Men game on the Wii and also on the DS.
Awesome.
They almost made it big and then just didn't, which made me so afraid the same thing would happen with Devolver. But it's
they ran with it.
the right
That's
time for
fantastic.
them. Yeah, they're doing very well. So back to you, actual game development. You'd worked on the Transformers games, the My Little Pet Shop game, some other games. Then you started working on games for yourself. How did you go about doing that? Or had you already worked on games for yourself at that time?
Yeah, I had done a little bit, but it's tough because for the most part I work in a bubble, and that's difficult for everybody. There's really not a community. So in my area. So to be exposed to large brand work where there were meticulously created artwork and designs and just really cool character stuff to actually manipulate and play with, it was eye-opening to see real game development occur. So from there, I use the word real tenuously, I suppose, because what is a real game?
Oh boy, that question.
No. Pass. Pass on real game, pass on real art. So,
sure.
No, I'm just kidding. We can talk about that. But to actually see code meet art meet music and to see how the interplay occurred really made me want to pursue it full term after that. And I mean, my profession, my standard profession, is a web developer, I guess you could say.
Sure.
I mean, that's like my day job. So I don't get to do a lot of sprite work and pixel work and all the stuff that I love during the day, but it still keeps me agile. It still keeps me kind of keeping up with modern stuff. And I mean, I can help out with our website and feel confident in creating all that stuff. But I'm incredibly grateful for all of the game jam initiatives, and especially Ludum Dare, Ludum Dare, whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of how I was introduced to the modern independent community. I joined Twitter, and the first few people I followed was Edmund McMillan. I mean, it was basically like after that huge indie game, the movie, just explosion. Everybody was like, "What? People are making video games? Quick, make them!" So I joined, and I followed a lot of those people, and I, talked with them, talked with new and upcoming people, and I was lucky enough to have some of my music on Edmund's Basement collection. So that was really cool. That was incredibly inspiring to know that somebody out there that I respected included me in their work. So that kind of just catapulted me in my drive like you wouldn't believe. It was such an encouragement. So,
can we get a little more into what music you have on the Basement collection and what exactly the Basement collection is for people who don't know?
Oh, sure. So Edmund put out a compilation of a lot of his older Flash games, remixed a lot of the music, remastered a lot of his previous titles, and bundled it all up and included a fan soundtrack. So I talked with him a little bit and just kind of feel out what the goals were, and made 3 tracks. He accepted 2. One was for trying to remember.
Was it all clarinet?
No, it was orchestrated.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
So you
No,
like putting
not
notes together on the screen too?
absolutely. Yeah, that's kind of what I was doing in college, was going for composition.
Hmm.
So yeah, I orchestrated 3 of his pieces. He chose 2, and yeah, I mean, nothing really came from that. Like there wasn't much of an outreach because of that. But just to know that somebody was nice enough to include the work I did really made me feel like I had a place in the community. Which, you know, for somebody just starting out, any kind of crumb of acceptance is just worth gold. It really is. Like, you see people in Ludum Dare, Ludum Dare. I'm just going to call it Ludum Dare. I apologize to the starters or anybody that.
We asked one of the creators of it what it's called, Ludum Dare, Ludum Dare. He said, I don't know.
That's fair. Okay.
So you can call it whatever you want.
I'm going to call it Ludum Dare. So,
yeah, why not? Yes.
Yeah. So the Ludum Dare group, you know, it's four times a year, I think, and there's one going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, you have 48 hours to create a game. If you want to do it on your own, you can work with a team, and then you have 3 days. So joining those and seeing the community outreach and just seeing this, I don't know, it's just such an amazing spark to see new people join the community. You know, they're new, so they're trying out new things. There's a very wonderful sense of newness and willing to try new things and just be weird. I don't know. It's the coolest thing to see somebody new have no problem posting something that is extremely experimental, and then the coolest thing after that is seeing the comments on their game for Ludum Dare and how enthusiastic the community is and the people that are commenting. It's really rare to see negativity in those comments. And some people that are diehard Ludum Dare developers speak out against that. They treat it in a way that's, you know, Ludum Dare is to create a stronger developer. But to me, I like it because it shows that you can enter a very diverse space, create your thing, and still get really, really nice positive feedback. So, I mean, some people might treat it like they want a valid critique. You know, they want a paragraph describing how their mechanic could improve, or, you know. But given that you have 48 hours to create anything, or 72, I mean, that's not much time, and especially people that have families, have weekend things, and you can't really do a lot of time. To have anything created in 48 hours is a thrill. And it's just, there's thousands and thousands of really neat experimental pieces to play with, and just, I don't know, it's like the coolest thing. I love it.
It's
and
the anti-staying on brand, making a thing for a specific purpose in order to generate money attitude. It's, we're making this and we don't know what we're going to make. We're generating it on the fly, like how you generate things on the fly all the time, and just let's see what happens, and let's be happy with what happens, and hope that there's some good in it. And even if there's only one good piece in something that's overall terrible, you can just focus on that good piece and use that to try to generate something good next time.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, you see, lately there seems to at least be many Steam releases, either early access or full launch, coming out of Ludum Dare or just Game Jam games, like Super Hot, that's coming out. That was a 7-day first-person shooter entry. Amazing. I will rep that game hard. It is so good. And Titan Souls was from Ludum Dare, I think 2 or 3 ago. That's, I think Devolver's publishing that. I think Gods Will Be Watching was a Ludum Dare game too.
Yeah, I think you're right. Wasn't Nuclear Throne a Ludum Dare game?
That,
or was it just a Game Jam game?
That was it wasn't Ludum Dare. It was from Notch's. What do they call it? Mine.
Oh.
That one that Notch runs.
Yeah, yeah.
What do they call that? I'm sorry, Flambear guys.
It's hard on the live stream. Memory doesn't work the same way.
Yeah, it had a different title that I don't want to talk about.
Oh yeah, it was called
Right.
the thing there.
Beware, Wasteland Kings.
I was actually trying not to say it, but you can say
Right.
it, Sinistar.
Yeah.
'Cause they got there was some legal dispute over.
Yeah, there was something with that, but you know, they did their thing. So yeah, they Ludum Dare, game jams, all that. Good
Which
stuff.
Ludum Dare? Have you made some Ludum Dare games then?
Yeah, I think the first one was 5 ago. We're on number 30, so the first one I did was 25, and it was just a cool experience. Like I went in expecting nothing, and to see people enjoy the game I made, and it was weird, but I think that's fine. It was about the name of it was Echo Chamber, and the theme. So that's the other thing. So in Ludum Dare, you're given a theme, and I think that theme was you are the enemy, or it was villain. It was villain. You are the villain, and I chose Echo Chamber as this like amorphous theme. Like I think echo chambers are scary, and to see unquestioned pressure, I guess. You know, people that never get told no, people that get told everything is great, this is amazing, this is a wonderful thing. Like that's not good for the soul. I think that you need a little bit of conflict, or you know, you need something to balance out the fluff.
Sure.
So that was kind of my theme, and to see people, like I didn't think anybody would really get it because it was kind of a weird one, but to see people see like, oh, what a cool idea for the theme, like that was just the best thing, just to see that people got it. I don't know.
How did the game play? How did
Easily
Echo
used.
Chamber play?
Echo Chamber, so the idea was you had a face that was akin to like Atari Combat, like the landscape in Atari Combat, this big rectangle, and the face would move, and the idea was these positive phrases would be thrown at the face, and you had to create nodes between these people walking around. It's so ridiculous.
Oh, sounds awesome. So positive phrases like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
look cute
So the idea was
today,
that
or
you're getting inundated in an echo chamber,
Uh-huh.
and so the idea was to collect as many people as you could to be part of your echo chamber, and you know, depending on how many people you connected, you succeeded or failed. I can't even really remember. It was something like that.
Huh.
So it's like the idea was that big echo chamber is bad and it will destroy you if you let
Right.
it. So
So your goal is to keep from being destroyed by the echo chamber, or you end up inadvertently creating your own
yeah, a
destruction?
bit of both. A bit of both. It
Huh.
was. I don't know. I hesitate to use the term because of all the community backlash that it can yield, but it was an art game. Pure. It was a pure art game. There was like,
You said
I
it.
don't know. I said it about my own work, so I can say that.
You can. That was the intention, was to create a thing. Well, what is that? What do you mean by that then? Help me
Art
understand your definition of art game in this instance.
So in this instance, it was like a performance art piece
Uh-huh.
where the person was inadvertently becoming the villain.
Ah,
So
all right.
yeah, so you're playing it. It's a difficult thing to kind of work through, and I think that's part of it. Like, it challenges part of what you believe if you want it to. Otherwise, it's just, oh, that's a cool thing. It's silly. It's weird. It has funny music and it's colorful. Like if you go into it, that it's just like a silly experience. But if you think about it deeper, and you know, maybe it will affect you in some meaningful way.
Huh. Awesome. That's so, and that was part of. So I guess that's what you mean by art game is when you play it, you may be a part of it in a way you don't know, and in the end, may be affected in a way that you didn't expect until you've kind of chewed on it a little bit.
Yep. Yeah,
Huh.
that's fair.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't think I have the clout to call somebody else's piece an art game. I think that's kind of like an inner voice. Like you have to feel like what you're creating is that. I don't know. It's such a tricky thing.
Well, I've come to my own. I've thought about it for way too long, and I'm pretty sure I've come to a conclusion that I've stuck with, which is when you call somebody else's thing art, you're implying that you know what their motivation was, and we never really know it other people's motivation are. But you can tell me what your motivation was, which was to make something that wasn't necessarily, I don't know, whatever the opposite of art is. Nobody knows what that is. And therefore, nobody knows what art is because we tend to define things by their opposite. So it's kind of, But you told me what your definition was, and it makes sense to me. So kudos. Kudos to you. Echo Chamber. I got to play it.
Nice.
Is it on the internet?
I'm sorry if you play it. Yeah, it's on the internet. It's if you search on the Ludum Dare site, you can find it.
Huh.
I think. Maybe? I don't even know. I think that if you search Loren Bednar Echo Chamber, you might be able to find it. I really hope that there's nothing written about me being in an echo chamber.
Well, you've got a web. You're a web designer. Are you gonna make a website with your games on it?
I did. Sort of.
You did.
Well,
check it out.
No, that's okay. No, I haven't created like an archive of all my games. Just they're out there. They should be searchable. Like if you search my name in game, you should be able to see it.
So here's the thing about you, Loren Bednar. I'm going to give you some feedback, and feel free to disregard it. But
I got to keep the mystery up, right? Thanks for that.
You can
tweet,
maintain that just by your avatars alone.
Right, mystery. Got to be mysterious.
It is good though.
Yeah, it is a bit.
I want to be able to find your things. You have a humility and a greedlessness, which is top in the charts, but there's a fine balance. Too much of that.
Well,
not enough ego and self-interest, and people never find your things. I want to find them.
There's definitely ways to find it. I don't keep hidden, and
right. Well, it's not as though, but you're not peacocking much either. To quote the pickup artist.
I don't know about that. I think I do enough, at least about our game Rockets.
You do have a game called Rockets. It's on the Steam early access. It is on the Steam
early access, right? Yes. And that's really a fun thing. But I do pitch that frequently on Twitter at least. I don't really have any other outlet. So I'm sure that anybody that's following me on Twitter hears enough about Rockets. Especially after I discovered that I have an emoji keyboard and I could just spam rockets just all day long.
Did you make those cute little things?
The what do you mean?
I know, right? It's an open-ended question.
That is a very open-ended question. Wow.
To the point where it's got no clue. Too open-ended. I'll dial it back a tiny bit. You have made a lot of free tile sets for people. You just been like tile sets. Want some?
So fun. So it was around April last year. I was participating in the One Game a Month initiative by Krister. He goes by McFunky Pants on Twitter. So awesome guy. He's an amazing inspiration. Leads a lot of initiatives and does amazing work himself. So he started the One Game a Month, and that was January of last year, encouraging people to create one game a month. He would provide a theme, and you'd make a game and submit it, and there was some gamification of that. You'd level up with your games, and every bit of community interaction was worth points. It was a really cool thing. So I felt that I was getting, in terms of my game development stuff, like I was getting a lot out of it. But I wanted to help people just with art. So I, as a generative art creator, wanted to help and create lots of stock art. I mean, it's not character stuff. It's not true landscape or tile sets per se, but it's like fragments of a thing, or like lots of squares, lots of triangles, lots of shapes that could be part of a game. And it's better than strict dev art, like blue square, red square, pink triangle, whatever. No offense to Mike Bethel for his amazing use of that theme. So
sure, but it's that's kind of a running theme in what you've done. You as a developer, but not someone whom sounds like has spent a lot of time with just traditional drawing and painting. You found a way to make quotes developer art look like something that expresses a lot, to be something that has feeling to it.
Yeah. So I would just create like a template piece and then generate hundreds and hundreds of these things and just kind of come up with a single form of a sheet. So, you know, it allowed people to use lots of tiles. I don't know, it's such a tricky thing to describe. I've never had to do this.
Huh,
So
you're doing
it's
great.
like, okay. So from there, so I think I created about 1,100 sheets or so. I think I hit 1,000 a few months ago, but then I had to take a break because of our video game. But it was just really cool to see how people used them, and some people made standard like match 3 games because some of them resembled a sugary tile-based matching game.
See, your graphics, which people, if they haven't seen them, you'll take something that looks like abstract bricks and then do like a variation of, oh, I don't know. I mean, we all know from standard video game experience that when you play Mario Brothers, those bricks are just tiles that have been told to be next to each other. It's not like they were drawn individually. You did that, and somebody took it and made a Candy Crush type game for money.
Perhaps. Well, you know how it goes. So, but some people have created kind of that, or shooters, or really cool like space type games. I guess that's the aesthetic overall, is kind of spacey, kind of dreamy, kind of.
And there have been some words, if I'm remembering correctly. Wasn't there one tile set of just like wow or something?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I did. There was a bit of text. I did a lot of characters with. I say characters meaning like text characters against. Like comparative color squares. So you'd have like the entire alphabet, multicolors of the text against different colored squares, just kind of like they could act as bricks, or if you were trying to make like a spelling game or whatever. The idea was just to create easily accessible, higher quality asset sets for people that want to play with stuff. I don't know.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
Just making things for people to like for no profit of your own.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and it's just neat to see. And I mean, I have a Tumblr. It's my first name last name .tumblr.com, and I don't know if the notice is still on there, but basically I can generate any size asset, any size sheet. If you needed something custom, just let me know. I mean, it was pretty open, and a bunch of people took me up on it. I don't ask for money for it. It's just a help. It takes seconds of my time to create something that might help somebody. So, yeah, no problem helping.
Huh. But what is it? But no, it's not a problem to help. But it's not a, back to that greed perspective. There's nothing in it for you, I don't think, or is there?
Well, sometimes, yeah. So people will contact me and they'll want something custom, or they'll want They'll like a certain tile set, and maybe they'll want it to be each individual cell be taller or more with their brand colors or whatever. And so we work on a means of compensation for that. It's not like paying my mortgage kind of thing, but it's a little bit every once in a while. It exists to help. I'm not trying to use it as like a money generating vehicle. It's just. I wouldn't feel right about that because it's not my intent. I don't know. I think that dictates a lot of the way I do things. If I want something to generate money, that has a different purpose. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to explain.
Huh. Well, it doesn't sound like you just don't strike me as one of those people who thinks, well, the purpose of life is to get as much money as you can and then die.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to live on a pool.
Yeah. You seem as though you're coming from a different sense of purpose. What's your sense of purpose, you think?
My sense of purpose. Yeah. I want to make the world a better place.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
Something to do. Sure. I mean, you got to do something. Might as well try to do that.
Yeah, because I think that it's easy to do simple things to help people. It's hard to do hard things to help people. It's hard to go and volunteer at a tragedy, right? But it's easy, at least for me, given my skill set, to help out up-and-coming developers create something that they might be proud of, or give somebody an idea. Oh, wow, this is a really cool color idea. I mean, I've had some people say that they really liked some of the color stuff that I did and the way certain glows and certain things kind of melded together, and then they create their aesthetic based on that color scheme. I mean, that's just an amazing thing. I had no idea people would like that. So just to see, I had no idea that greens and blues and purples could blend so well. That's an amazing thing. I'm going to make a game around that. It's a trip. I don't know. I like that stuff. I like when people feel like they can engage in something new, or when they have that confidence to try something new because of something I did. I don't know. It's really neat.
That is really neat. Jeez, I wish you've got to meet Dan Edelman someday. He's got a very similar attitude, using the skill set he has to marketing, business, networking, just because he wants to be able to help people to create more fully, more freely. You're doing the same thing.
Oh yeah, I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah. You guys are cut from the same cloth in a lot of ways.
I mean, I'm in it for the money. I just want all the cash. I want to open my trunk and see gold bars, right?
I would love to open a trunk and see the Pitball gold bars, just because that would be awesome to see those in real life. But real life gold bars, what do you even do with them? Sell them, I guess?
Just show them off, right? You got a booth at PAX and you just stack the gold bars, and people walk by and they're like, he knows. He knows what to do.
Achievement. Yeah, it's like the greatest gamer score of all.
Stack of gold bars, business cards.
This show is flying by. Questions just flew in from it's geez, I feel like we just got started. I will get to the questions from the viewers. Thank you for watching, everyone. In just a moment, but in the interim, I did want to ask, your art looks like music to me.
Aw, that's an awesome thing to say. Thank you.
I mean it in a complimentary way, but it's not necessarily just a compliment. It's got to do with the idea of, for me, and I've talked to the people about this before, talented musicians, and they say I have no idea what I'm talking about. So, with a grain of salt, who knows? For me,
sure you do. It's coming from you.
One note doesn't mean a whole lot. It's a dial tone. Well, actually, a dial tone is two notes at the same time. But one note, whatever, doesn't express a whole lot. Put a note next to a note, and all of a sudden you have a feeling. And you put a series of notes next to each other. So it's not so much about the individual notes, but it's as they, without moving forward in time with them and experiencing them in order, whatever. And your art is the same thing. Putting all those colors next to each other, the colors mean something because of what color they're next to. And not so much
that's awesome.
And coding, I imagine, is similar. One code doesn't mean a whole lot unless it's how it works in linear order with the rest of them. So I can't help but imagine you making a music-based game.
Did I? I kind of did.
You kind of did. Let's talk about it.
No.
Come on, let's do it. Let's talk about you. That's why you're on the show. Talk about you. Let's do it.
It was a while ago. It was for when was that? It was like one game a month. Oh, I guess it wasn't that long ago. It was last February or March or something. It was basically, I don't even know. I don't even know how to describe it. So you would move your mouse cursor around on the screen, and all these colorful orbs would be flying around like these color sources. And so you'd move your mouse around, and it would act as like a gravity point. So you would be collecting these colorful things, and each collision would cause a tone. So it was like this freeform, kind of a music-y tone generator thing. It was just, I just wanted to explore using different kind of color blending methods and just seeing what I could do to make something look pretty and sound cool and be nice. And really, really cool amount of feedback. I was shown on the free indie games site before it was no longer being updated.
Sure.
So it was a really cool kind of nod from Terry Kavanagh
Oh wow!
to be included. Yeah, it was really nice.
What was the name of the game thing? Game toy?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Mm.
It was. I feel bad that I can't remember the name. If you Google Loren Bednar, oh wait, no, I lost it. Okay, if you Google Loren Bednar free indie games, or if you just go on the site and search it, you'll find it. I can't remember the name of it though.
So do you see this pattern? You're used to you.
I don't.
You see yourself as just, oh yeah, everyone's like this. I'm the baseline. I'm the standard level of humility and self-promotion. You know, some people are more than me, some people are less. No, you're close to. You make things that are really cool, and then you forget what they're called because you're like, whatever.
I'm so busy. I got a lot going on.
A lot of people are a little bit more full of themselves, you see. And they're thinking, I'm so great because I made the thing. Everyone look at me.
Well, I will talk about Rockets. That crazy early access rocket dancing simulator, fun explosion, spectacular game.
Fun explosion? Is that trademarked? Because it ought to be.
I'll see what I can do.
Tell us about Rockets.
Boxed quote. Sure.
People
so
can buy it right now for $5. Is that right?
You can. Yep, on Steam. It's really fun. It's a couch-based. Like you sit on your couch. It's not. You don't use couches in the game. Just make a note for future DLC. Right. You got to push the product. So the idea is you can sit with a bunch of friends and fly rockets around, and you can kind of dance with them. It's like it's such a trip to describe this thing. So it's like a dogfight rocket, colorful, fun, amazing music, I have to say.
Who did the music?
Ben Lamb. I think his Twitter name is Bass Treble Music.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
You can't mute him. He is so good. We're thrilled to have him on our team.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm working with Andy Moore and his company Radial Games is publishing, and we're working with Dr. Kim Vole. Her Twitter name is Zany Tomato, and she's working on all the AI work and doing an amazing job with our AI rocket Stanley. And it's like a really fun dogfight, fly around, have some fun kind of game. It's cool. It's
gravity plays a big part. You feel like you're being swung about. You feel like things are to know that to know your ideas about procedural generation and the magic in it, just making a thing happen and watching it take a life of its own. It speaks to the design behind Rockets, because you go into it thinking, I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. It's going to stick to a theme. But it's relatively unpredictable, and a lot of different variables at play at any given time.
It's really fun. I mean, I'm working on it, so that's coming from a position of, I don't know, whatever. But it's really fun. If I wasn't working on it, I would still say it was fun.
And what are you doing? What is your part in the development of the game?
I am the designer. So. Overall aesthetic, I made all the Steam promotional things and posters and banners and all the stuff, business card parts, and
awesome.
all the design. Yeah, it's
how
pretty
long
cool.
have you been working on it for?
Well, we started working on stuff I think in April, late April, early April, and then we went on early access early May, and we are thrilled with our community. It's super cool people. They are excited, and they're having fun, and we were kind of worried about our early access launch because seeing how tragic some of the other ones have gone, so we try to keep it honest with our current state of production. We went with a lower price point because we wanted to engage with more people and to kind of get the feeling out there that we're just starting out with this, and please join us for starting out. Start low, and then as we go, we're going to be increasing the price with each milestone, each large milestone, probably starting around holiday time. Like right now, we're kind of in a PAX crunch, like half the community is, trying to get stuff wrapped up for that. But standard development is going to resume probably early next month with a big amount of achievements, and we're working on some really cool visuals, and yeah, it's going to be an amazing thing. So excited.
What were some of the influences of the game? Because it's fairly rare to have a non-character based game resonate with people this much, and it is just simple rockets. There's no face to it. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Well, so Kim, our AI developer, gave the standard first-person opponent, Stanley, a really cool personality. It sounds so strange to say, but that's part of the goals with the game, is that your opponents will be unique and kind of representative of a different group. But so while the rocket doesn't look like a person, it does have personality. And I mean, you see people on our forums like grouching, like, "Oh, this is too difficult. Oh, I beat him!" And you see all the screenshots like, "I finally beat Stanley," and they're thrilled. It's like, so he's kind of taking on this persona driven by the community. It's kind of cool.
Right.
But it is multiplayer. I mean, I think we do support 2 at base level. That's like the biggest thing. But then I think you can go up to like 16 or something huge.
Really?
Yeah, something like that. It's pretty cool.
Huh. Awesome.
Yeah.
And so impressive to be able to create an AI that, as long as you give it a name, such as you did, and behaviors. Well, without a name, it wouldn't. But people can fill in the rest of the gaps. I bet they have an idea of what kind of person Stanley is, maybe even what he looks like, even though it remains relatively mysterious. Do you think you'll ever reveal what Stanley looks like? I hope not.
I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, it's good to keep kind of a mystery.
Yeah. Well, it all went downhill
when AI in gaming, right?
Exactly. When we saw what Boba Fett looked like, his popularity went way down after that.
It's true.
Better to keep him hidden, keep him mysterious, keep him a part of our imaginations. Questions happened. Should we do questions, or is there anything else you wanted to talk about before I get to
well, it can just one sentence or so about the aesthetic. So,
oh, sure, please.
I like triangles. I like how they fit together to create a grid. So one of the things that I was playing around with with one of my generative art things, I was like, oh, I'll try to make a rocket, and I made a rocket, and it looked cool, I thought. So I shared it on Twitter, and Andy Moore saw it and was like, oh, I'd love to make a game out of that. And it really made me feel good just to see, like, because I respect him as a developer. He makes great stuff. And it meant so much to me that I was like, I had plans for it. Like, I was going to make my own game. And then times started to get, really thin. So I was like, I reached out to him, I pitched it, and he was all about it. And here we are. We have a game. And it was just a really cool working experience to be with them, and it's just awesome.
So it started from you just showing a triangle on Twitter.
Well, I showed the first version of the rocket, but it was from playing with triangles and just seeing kind of how the shapes would work together. But I was like, oh, I made a cool rocket. I'll share this on Twitter. And to see his reaction to it was just like, wow, what a cool thing. So we made a game.
So in the back of my mind, this whole conversation, I've been listening to you intently. However, in the back of my head, I keep thinking the Loren Bednar way versus the 4chan way. What is the way? Yeah, 4chan is the place.
What?
And there's a lot of different people on 4chan.
There are.
A lot of them are wonderful. Not all of them are. And 4chan has become synonymous with, like, I'm just going to break stuff and be a jerk and hurt people, because that's what internets are good for, versus your way, which is like, I'm going to create a thing and maybe someone will, and it'll just grow into a beautiful willow tree sort of thing. And it is so much easier to take the 4chan route and just hurt and break and destroy. It's not for you, because you don't get any woof out of, like, I hurt someone. Like, I don't see you, like, going home at night and lying in bed thinking, well, at least I made her cry. That's just not how your brain works. But for
that's how I wake up. I wake up with the enthusiasm to make someone cry. Yes, I'm ready to go. It's like my morning coffee.
Yeah, it's Folgers in your cup. Just tears.
Anger. Just anger.
But for people who want to make an impact in general, and maybe they don't have as much optimism that they can make a positive impact by creating. They think, well, I'll make an impact by destroying. And I want all of them, all of those people who just want to make an impact, to be like you. But how are they ever going to be like you? How are they ever going to get the positive feedback you've gotten? I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything unimpressive about making a rocket graphic and showing it off. It is impressive to do that. However, it's not out of the reach of a lot of people. But they're not doing that. These people are not making a thing and showing it off and trying to start a conversation that way. They're trying to break someone else or break something and then start a conversation that way. And I think it's because it's not as common to get the kind of positive feedback or feedback in general that you get as it is common to get feedback from being a jerk.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, like I said earlier, I think you just have to come from a place of zero expectations on your contribution. Because I think if you go, it's super, it is difficult at times. I mean, I do, of course, I get frustrated a little when I put effort into something and there's nothing to come of it. But I just think, well, the next one maybe will do better, or what else can I do with this, or I just start something else. I think coming back from that is just as important as coming from a point of no expectations. Like learning how to deal with rejection, learning how to deal with all that. I mean, that's like a very difficult life skill. And I think it just takes constant focus and just not like staring at your monitor all day like, how can I make myself feel better? This guy didn't say the right thing. I think it just comes from taking that feedback, even if it's just implicit, and just seeing how to work that into something else. I don't know. Sure.
Being self-reflective, seeing that the world is not there necessarily just to entertain you or make you happy, that it is a two-way street, and if you're not getting the results you want, then maybe you can change, because you can't change anybody else. Maturity, I think they call that on the streets.
What a crazy thing.
Yeah, it's like one of these new slang terms they're using, swaggy. And then also maturity.
Mature, right?
Yeah, it's trending right now, thanks to you. Gosh darn it. There's more we could talk about in that direction. But I do, my clock on my computer isn't accurate, so I don't even, it's all like, I live in the negative, the phantom zone. There's a picture of me with no shirt on my computer. 5:23 is the time I have, so we only have 7 minutes. Jesse Bowell asks, would you ever consider making a Lemmings game?
Absolutely.
That took hold on now.
Oh gosh.
That took place in a bioluminescent bay if you had the rights to the IP. That would be super killer sweet. And the guy who made Lemmings and worked on GTA as well, which you once played, he's very accessible on Twitter. I've talked to him before.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I have. I sent him a big gushy tweet about how Lemmings was a major impact on me and all that. I don't know if you read it, but
I bet he did.
Yeah,
maybe. I can't remember his name.
One can hope. Michael Daly?
Yeah, Michael, and it was Michael something.
Yeah, very cool.
Sure.
Yes, I would absolutely make that game. I would jump on that immediately. After Rockets officially launches on Steam sometime in 2015.
Oh, okay. So Project 2. What was that game you made with all the cool explosions in it?
Which one?
I know.
That could be the one that I can't remember the name of. It did have cool, colorful explosions.
You showed me one once, and I was like, this is really going to lead to something. It gave me a little bit of a Missile Command feeling, but I don't think
that
anything...
was it. That was it.
Yeah,
that was that one. Whatever that one was called.
None of us remembered what it was called, though.
I feel so bad. I am not
You should not feel...
chat.
It is... trust me, it is not a sign of weak character that you are so in the process of just making the next thing and are so unfull of yourself that you don't even remember the name of your own games. You just want to make stuff and share.
Yeah, but remember, I'm mysterious, and so this whole thing could be a ruse.
It could be a grand manipulation technique. Consider
anonymous, right? I might not be Loren Bednar.
How do I know? I can't prove it. Yeah, You could be anybody. This could be one big catfish. What's your and this is Elias Games asks, what's your dream game project? If you could make, and this is a question I should have asked, so thank you for picking up my slack. Yeah, any game, any IP. I like to run with other people's IP. If you could make a game in those series, in those franchises.
I don't know. It's hard because I think any IPs. So I'm a big fan of Impossible Mission for Atari, even though you couldn't finish it, which is so cool.
I think, can't you? I watched a video of somebody beating it on Commodore 64.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. But for Atari, I think it was when it shipped for the United States, the final missing puzzle piece, if you're not familiar. Are you familiar with the gameplay? So
you are a man jumping around.
Yes.
You scan computers and
right.
put together like dot matrix code.
Yep. Yep, you get puzzle pieces and stuff. And the final puzzle piece was behind a display that you couldn't reach in the United States port. The one that came overseas, nope, can't beat the Impossible Mission game.
That is pretty awesome.
It was very frustrating as 7-year-old Loren trying to beat Impossible Mission, and then finding out years later that, oh, I really couldn't. Thanks for the thing.
So
but
in a way you did, by the standard by which one could potentially get through Impossible Mission. You got through as much as you could.
I did. But I would love to make a game in that kind of vein where you've got just an everyman, simple graphics. You've got the simple mechanic of like organizing puzzles and stuff. I don't know. It sounds cool. I'd love to work in that, but I don't know if my standard design aesthetic would match that, so it would have to be some changes. I don't know.
I think that could. Exploring a large network of rooms.
That could be cool, yeah. Just in general, a space game. I love space stuff. I'm making a Rockets game. It's kind of future tech spacey in its own way.
Sure.
I'd like to make some kind of an RPG that uses an inventory system. As silly as that sounds. Yeah, I just like the idea of managing an inventory sometimes and just, I don't know, we'll see. Game 3+, yeah, I don't know. I have simple needs, I suppose.
But in terms of actual IP, your first thought was Impossible Mission.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I just liked it as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
I always go back to that when I think of a really fun kind of game, because for me, like, it was this really ominous thing. There was no, there was always this pressure to complete because you had to finish it within a certain time, or the mainframe would shut the game down or something like that. So you had like this block that was always pending. I don't know. I didn't really take to action games. I just really liked that. So.
Well, it was a game where you had no direct ability to be aggressive. You had to.
You could shut off the machines. You could pause the room. You could get stuff, get puzzle pieces, so something like that would be really fun.
Yeah, I agree. I have the DS game. I don't know if you've played it. It's kind of weird. It's all right. I would help you make an Impossible Mission game. I would animate a little guy running. I can do that.
Sounds good. We'll do some motion capture.
Oh, no. No, actually, I can...
Nick Arcade style, right?
Mortal Kombat style? Oh, no.
That'd be awesome.
No, I can really animate a little man, I promise. You'll like it. And we'll talk later. Chris Tapp asks, when you present fan art to the maker, do you include an artist statement? How important do you think words are in expressing your intentions?
I don't know. I think it depends on the person. For me, I try to keep it simple. So, I don't know. Could be a detriment, but when I talk to people on Twitter that I don't know, but I do respect, so I come from that kind of position of awe, like, wow, you're so cool, you're doing a cool thing. I treat them like I would want to treat a friend, so it's casual. I send them a thing, either I tweet it to them or I email them privately, just saying, I made an art, right? Or, here's a circle, it's about your game. Stuff like that. It's such a low level of entry. I think it also depends on your target. If you were submitting stuff to a renowned artist, someone that would be impacted by your statement, or if you were like, this statement represents me as an individual. This art represents my idea for your game. Maybe that's beneficial. I don't know. I think it just depends on the person. I couldn't see myself submitting an artist statement because I think it would come off as ridiculous. I don't know, because it'd be like the amorphous shapes present within the glow makes me, the artist, feel empowered by the sparkle glitter that I've presented to you, oh maker. I don't know. God, I'm terrible with artist statements.
You're not as bad as you think, but it's clear that you would rather the art speak for itself.
Just absolutely silly. I would fill a thing with emojis, and then here's an art. I don't know.
Absolutely. All the games you talked about that you've made so far, it's clear you would rather people just play them and experience it because you don't feel like it's...
Yeah, I'm also not a writer, so that makes it an easy choice.
Yeah,
I would tell myself it would be like somebody writing an essay in 11th grade English. No offense to those that write very well 11th grade English essays.
Sure. I was some of the best writing I ever did was back then, sadly. It's all been downhill from here. But a lot of artist statements I've read, sadly, they make all the difference in the fine art world. Someone will take the Washington Monument and cover it in checkerboard squares. People will be like, that's dumb. And then they read the artist statement. They're like, oh,
sure,
he's actually a genius.
Sense, I totally agree with that. But in terms of presenting a fan art, I think if you were having work at an installation or something, you would want something to represent your purpose. But if you were pitching fan art or just, I think that it would kind of get in the way. Even music, if you had a favorite composer and you wrote them, and you wrote an arrangement of something that they did. I don't know. It depends on the person.
Indeed.
So I can't really. I don't know. I don't want to talk in a circle.
Sure, subjective. I understand.
Right.
It's tough though because there's something in there, but there's also not. That's the sense I'm getting. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. And it is really. I wanted to comment on it before. The fact that you are a part of a community online that's not only choosing to try to help each other, but openly engaging in dialogue by transforming each other's work. The whole transformative movement is something that I'm all for. It's great to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, just wanted to tell you that. Super Kitty Pogo Dance says,
I like that name. That's
they've watched the show a few times. Thank you, Super Kitty Pogo Dance. Did you have a hard time getting others to accept the art style and Thomas was alone? I don't think you made that.
I didn't make that at all. But to say, yes, it was an uphill battle all the way.
You do remind me a bit
pushing
of
a boulder.
Mike Bithell. Mike Bithell was on the show some time ago.
Oh, okay.
And, he's very kind. It was one of the first interviews he did. It was before his game took off quite as big as it did, so he was kind of flattered to get the attention. And you two actually have quite a bit in common in terms of he worked in commercial games. He was kind of like, well, this is a wonderful experience, but at the same time, I want to be able to do something that's a little bit more free of the constraints that come along with having to make a product so people will give us money later. And the way he branched out was with a game about squares next to each.
Yeah, and I heard it did well.
It did pretty well for Mike Bithell. We are over time because I totally failed. I don't know why my computer refuses to tell me what time it really is. It's catfishing me as well, unfortunately. We went over time, but it was wonderful talking with you, Loren.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. You are Loren _ Bednar?
No underscore, just my first name, last name.
Yeah, Loren
Loren Bednar. Don't forget the @ kids. @ Loren Bednar.
And when you have the chance, would you, please, find the games you made.
Come on.
And put them all in one place. I know it's fun to go on an Easter egg hunt. I love it.
Well, a lot of them are on the One Game a Month site, but that's not my own site.
I want them all on your... I want to just go through what you did. You are important. You did the things I want to see, but it's hard. It's hard when I have to hunt around for them, because then instead I'll, like, do work or something. But when you trick me
we can't have that.
Sadly, we can't. I'm totally behind. I have to write at least two posts by the time the night is through. Anyway, please put your things in a place so I can see all your things because I love them.
I'll do what I can. Thank you.
Okay,
I'll do what I can.
Appreciate it.
that.
As for me, I am Tron Knots on Twitter, and the show can be listened to later on Libsyn and iTunes. Just Google Libsyn, iTunes, and Sup Holmes. We're on episode like 112 now, I think. It's totally bonkers. You can also watch it later on YouTube, youtube.com/SupHolmesShow. All the episodes can be found there. So many wonderful people, and more to come. We're still booked out for months to go.
Oh, awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, they don't stop wanting to come on. I'm very lucky to have. Yeah, I don't understand it either, but I'm not going to lift a gift horse in the mouth. I can't talk anymore. I did all right though. I talked
You did good.
Okay, I think. Yeah.
You did good.
Oh, and I think Sinistar might broadcast my ALS bucket challenge thing now. I don't know. He might not. I did it right before the show in the shower after I just shaved my head. I was challenged by Devi Ever, who made Lillian Gish, and also Simon Vickland, who worked on Payday, Payday 2, and Bionic Commando Rearmed. Yeah, I had no idea he remembered who I was. Like,
oh, he knew.
Yeah,
he had a vengeance.
Rearmed, and he worked on the Payday games. He's a great guy. And also Devi Ever, who worked on Lillian Gish. She's a great woman. This is my bucket of ice water. They told me to dump it on my head. So I will do it for ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, a terrible disease that I first learned about because Jason Becker, electric guitarist, suffered from it. He's a very talented guitarist. Alright, so what am I talking about? Alright. Hairy, nude, wet, cold. Drop the bucket. I challenged Sagat of Capcom's Street Fighter series to do it next. I know he's not real, but somebody can make it happen.
Oh, God. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.